Anyways, folks, I just want to get this off my mind. And this is a trap that oftentimes drivers fall into, and that we undersell ourselves or our talent. And this way we get stuck in kind of the pattern, kind of the vacuum of the only thing we know how, or we think we know how to do is drive. And that's how, we open ourselves up to exploitation. I recently took like 10 months off from my last driving job. And I just found it, the longer you do it, the more unfulfilling it becomes because there's no room for growth. In fact, the longer you drive, the more they treat you like you're stupid. Here come the cameras now. Now, they act like you need, to be constantly coached. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys have been driving for 10 plus years, and any other company, that makes you a veteran or a senior. But in trucking, it seems the longer you drive, the dumber they treat you. Okay, you've been driving for 20 plus years. You've had your CDL. Oh, we're going to put cameras in there for safety reasons. You know what I'm saying? These new cameras, man, they're so intrusive. Some of them are like AI, and they map out your physical DNA just so that someone sitting in HR or whatever can, get a bing on the computer. Beep! A driver acted inappropriately. Maybe you sneezed. And the computer interprets that as like distracted driving. Whatever, man. And they expect you to sit there holding your steering wheel at like the 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock position for 10 straight hours, man? Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? I mean, they've taken all the fun out of driving. Back in the day, you get a hamburger, fries, pizza, whatever, man. It's what helps pass the time. These people who make these rules, they don't know what it's like to just drive. You can't do that. Otherwise, you'll go to sleep. It's unnatural to just sit there and stare straight out the windshield. And glance in your mirrors now. No. Maybe when you're brand new and it's all overwhelming, but, after years and years of that, no, man. So trucking has just become a very, impersonal trade. They've made it that way through technology, no matter how long you've been doing it. And you come home, you're tired. Even if you do a local job, man, they work the heck out you, man. You know what I'm saying? You got these long, 12-hour shifts, 14-hour days, and and that doesn't add into the prep time, the commute. Then you get off. Then you can have. I worked locally. The last job I had, I worked locally, and when I started, you better expect to have 17-hour days, because there's a lot of, like I say, before work and after work time that goes into it. And so after taking 10 months off, to pursue, something else, school, whatever, I was like, man, do I really want to jump back into that environment? And I guess, now when you apply for these truck jobs, you got to go through a thing called 10 Street and, and all these just layers of bureaucracy that didn't be there. You got to go through 10 Street and then you have to verify your DLT record through, I forget the name of that agency. And you got to have the government.com and this and that and that, and it's just like, and nobody talks to you. It's like you're just being shuffled along like a number. It's a very cold, impersonal feeling. It ain't like the olden days, man, where you walked into a truck company. Yeah, man, come work for, you got to know people. And you felt like you were working for people rather than some, far away, distant stockholders or shareholders. And then I've also read that sitting is like one of the worst things you could do for your health. It's no wonder a lot of drivers, have back issues or diabetes, whatever. You're sitting for a long time, you get lonely, so you end up eating junk food. And now you have these cameras. A lot of these, you can't eat. You were eating while driving. Well, and that's what helps pass the time. If you cannot eat a slice of pizza while driving, you don't need to be driving. And again, the people who design these camera parameters, they've never driven before. They've never driven, so they don't understand that movement is actually what keeps you alert. It's the fact that you're moving around and you're tuning the radio or whatever people do when they drive, It's the fact that you're twitching is what keeps you alert. It's when you stop moving and twitching. is when you should be concerned, because that's when you start to zone off and stop paying attention. But again, that's truck psychology. But the people who design these programs, they don't know. They never driven, so they whatever. So as of now, I applied for this one company. It was just like yard jockeying, whatever they call it. But then, they took such a long time to get back with me. The urine test, whatever. I was just like, you know what, man? After 10 months of being around people, do I really want to jump back into that environment and be isolated for like 12 hours, working it was an overnight shift, working in a dark place, it's dark and all kinds of weather by yourself, and the only time you hear from someone is when you do something wrong. Oh, you hit that pothole too hard. Plus, it's dangerous, man. There's a lot of things. You don't realize how dangerous trucking is until you get out of it and then get back into it. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Luckily, I had a pretty good career. I mean, never got in an accident, but I could change it at a moment. And then suddenly they don't know you no more. It's like, bye. It's like, hit the road, Jack. So I'm like, it would be easy and fiscally comforting for me to get back into trucking and wear out my body and come home feeling spent, tired, unmotivated, and too tired to have a shit. Or I could just write it out a little bit longer and try to get into something else. I want a work at home type of job, folks. You know what I'm saying? And it can be scary at first because you're used to that steady paycheck. One thing trucking will give you is a steady paycheck. It may not be a whole lot, but it's steady. And that's why I used to have a blog called Trucking Can Be Like a Bad Marriage, because that check is steady. Like, if you're married to someone for financial reasons, but you're unfulfilled. That's how kind of trucking can be when you've done it for a while. And it's easy to just say, yeah, I'll take that check, and here's your 20th trucking job, your 10th trucking job, because, you want that check. But after you get hired, it's the same old. You end up quitting after a few months or a year, whatever. So this time, I want to stick it out. I want to try something else. I want to either get in the admin side of trucking, dispatch, whatever. Not the way you guys are thinking about it. There's a whole different system that maybe I'll share later where you may actually make money. Trucking has changed a lot compared to our days where, you had a dispatcher sitting in a building. Now you got remote dispatchers. I forget what they're called that help out other dispatchers. I mean, like I say, but bottom line is I'm Gen X. I'm older now. I can't be like running around out there like I'm 19 in all kinds of weather and expect to stay healthy. So I want to transition to like staying home, even if I have to get a couple of stay-at-home jobs, selling life insurance, or doing the whole truck recruiting thing, or just there's so many opportunities out there if you just look. But I'm about to wrap this up. But I'm just saying, after being home for 10 months, it's been the happiest period of my adult life, one of the happiest, because I was free. Every morning, I was free. Yeah, I was enrolled in a school, but I was free. I could get up whenever, go to bed whenever. Didn't have to report nowhere. I was free. And so once you're free, it's hard to give that freedom up again and be a slave to a schedule. That whole feeling of, I got to go to work at 6 or 5 and, I got to be on duty for 12 hours, And what's with these long shifts, man? Now, I've been off for 10 months. I'm in better health now than I was when I got off because I nap when I need to. You can't do that in trucking, especially you're in a day cab. You know what I'm saying? All that noise, the engine, and it's just... Rest. I'm older now. We're all going to get there, but rest is so key to your health. And if you work at home, you go take a nap whenever you feel like it. You can't do that in trucking. Once you're out there, even if you're out and back, I don't care. Even if you're out there, 150 miles away, you still got to come back. No matter how you feel, you still got to come back. You might have a stomach ache. You may be drowsy, and that's how your health begins to degrade over time. It's because these shifts are so long that you're abusing your body. You really are. You're abusing your body because it's unnatural. Even when I'm at home, I'll take if I'll wake up, I may get drowsy 3 hours later. I'll take a nap again. But once you clock into a truck job or any job, I guess, you don't have the luxury of taking them naps and listening to your body. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. So, like I said, if there's any truckers out there that are older, try something different. Don't keep doing the same thing, and because you're only gonna get older, and one day your health is gonna give out. And if you don't have like skills that you can utilize and generate an income from while at home, then you're basically doomed. Unless you got a spouse that'll take care of you, something like that. So pick up a skill, a job that you can learn from home. Get a certification, maybe a few certifications, and string a few of those opportunities together, and I guarantee you'll be a happier person working from home over the computer, selling insurance or selling something else or doing this or that, whatever, than you will, just being out there in all that traffic, DLT constantly on your butt, and plus the inert dangers of it all. It's not the same out there, man. Nobody talks on the CB anymore. Most of the drivers are foreign. I don't got nothing against foreign drivers, but communication, that's how we used to. Any community needs communication in order to build a culture and form bonds. But when everybody speaks a different language, like the Tower of Babel in the Bible, remember that? God said, I'm going to confuse these people. They're too proud. The Tower of Babel. Everybody starts speaking Greek and German and African and Israeli and Pakistani. Everybody starts. So it's like the Tower of Babel. No one could understand each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's how trucking is now. And that's why everybody's separated. That's why you don't see like strikes anymore. Like I remember when I was a little kid growing up, truckers used to go on strike, man. People had to listen. Nobody listens to truckers anymore. Now they just see us as a disposable commodity. That's it. Disposable commodities. They come, they go, hire the next guy. So with that, folks, I'm going to wrap this up. But like I said, don't be afraid to, give another career or job a try. Because like I said, just don't be afraid. Sometimes you just got to do it. And with that, I'm going to wrap up this podcast. Now go get your shine box.
The goal of your life is to make things right. And you do that by punching through walls that others put up, hoping you'll fall. You're not Humpty Dumpty, the egg that fell. If anything, you're here to give them hell. The ones who stood in your way and dragged you down. And now it's your turn to make them look like clowns. A blue-collar guy in a white-collared world. How do you make it, shake it, and make it all work? A blue-collar guy in a white-collared world. How do you make it, shake it, and make it all work? A blue-collared guy in a white-collared world. How do you make it, shake it, and make it all work? Verse number two. What you gonna do? Life's been hitting you hard like the COVID flu, but you can't stop. You have to keep going, otherwise you won't earn that coin. And in this world, if you go broke, even your enemies will say to you, adios. So you gotta keep going. There is no choice as you keep on yearning for an inspiring voice. But in the blue-collar world, that can be hard to find, as most in that realm have very flat minds. It's like they've given up on life. They have no more fight, and they've given in to their blue-collar plight. Well, not me, you see. I keep on trying. Most others around me seem as if they're dying. Cause by giving up and laying down, you're basically mimicking Charlie Brown. Don't put rocks in my bag or I'll throw them back at you. Okay, now we're done with verse 2. Yeah, everyone, I know the blue-collar world can be rough, especially if you've got dreams, you've got ambitions, and you're reaching for the sky. It can be rough out there sometimes, but don't let no environment scrub your dreams, man. You know what I'm saying? Life is for dreams. The grave is for nightmares.
And I'm out.